Top 5 questions for the Pac-12, and one of these has already been answered. But when I did the top 5, it was still a possibility that this was a power move by USC and UCLA. But number 5 is, can the league stop this move? And apparently not. They're not going to be able to. They're not going to. It's already happened. So, but I did think, I mean, at the beginning of the day, when it said it hasn't been approved at the highest levels yet, you know, one of the things when you reach out to a couple people in the Pac-12, said, well, maybe it's about getting that tiered television deal that they want that's better for them. But obviously it's about way more than that. Because, again, like I said in the last segment, if the Pac-12 is going to give you more money but still not as much as the Big Ten, then what does it matter if you could pull a power move unless you really believed in the future of the conference, which, you know, I don't know if anybody really does.
I don't know what to think of it. Can the league stop the move? No. So that's obvious. But the question is, I don't know that everyone that's still there, they have to keep all of them. Remember what Ryan said? They lose anybody else, it's over?
Yeah.
The answer to this question is no. Yeah, they cannot. We already talked about this. USC and UCLA might be official by tonight, if not tomorrow morning. So no, they can't stop this.
No, but I didn't. When I wrote this, it was not answered yet. Number 4, does this change how anyone else feels about long-held beliefs? Okay, if you didn't want to be in a conference with religious schools, if you need to now, you might want to change that, Cal. Or if your fan base is all in California and the only offer is from the Big 12, do you have to just go to the Big 12 Arizona schools? Like, do those things change because now you're forced up against it? You would think they almost have to, right?
I mean,
if
you want to stay relevant in college sports, yeah. I mean, if you're Cal, yeah, you're going to have to make a choice. Do you want to maintain the level that you're at right now as best you can? Then perhaps you throw a floater out to the Big 12. But here's the thing. The Big 12 could tell you to go screw yourself. I mean, I'm not going to forget the snobby nature of some Pac-12 fans, and especially those who follow schools like Cal, of we're not going to take some small Baptist school or some school out of Fort Worth. We're not going to fiddle with private schools, especially religious schools. I mean, all that's going to potentially come back and bite you right in the rear end. But then again, those people probably don't care that much that it will. So, I think that it depends on who your leadership is and what the goals of your university are. If you want to maintain your athletic standing, then you're going to probably have to make some concessions because you're certainly not in control at this point.
You should see the reaction in the chat room about Cal, and it's not positive. Yeah.
No.
Okay.
All right. Number 3, how does this affect your SoCal interest if you're the Pac-12? You've lost the 2 schools that are there. There's nobody you can't – the Big 12 is kind of interesting in that, you lose a gigantic brand like Texas, a gigantic brand like Oklahoma, but you still have schools that are in those places, in those states.
Yep.
And California has to be looked at like a couple of different spots. People in San Diego think there's San Diego and the rest of California. But you look at California and there's Northern California, there's Central California, there's Southern California. Well, once you're south of Berkeley, I mean, does anybody care anymore about the Pac-12?
Well, I mean, the fact that we heard from somebody out on, that side of the country that whatever LA radio, I know they got multiple out there, but the one that was pointed out was talking, Kevin Durant's, impending decision or whatever versus this story, UCLA and USC moving to the Big Ten, and they're talking about Kevin frickin' Durant, who plays in Brooklyn. I understand it could have an effect on California schools, but that tells you everything you need to know. There is no world that exists where if OU and Texas move, that everybody's not talking about that. Now, there might have been some station in Dallas that was talking Cowboys because that's what they do all the time, but I think that's part of the problem is that there's not enough people talking about college football, so there's going to be even less now. There was little to begin with. I mean, I guess in theory, the one thing you could do would be like, let's go grab San Diego State. And I know our Aztecs fans out there are going to be like, yes, do that. But does that save the conference and make up for those losses? No, there would have to be more added to that, and I don't know how you do that. That's the question in front of them.
Yeah. Number 2, does this stall the TV deal completely? Yeah, probably does.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You take out the largest possible market you could have had in that TV deal in Los Angeles, and look, San Francisco's a big market, and so is Seattle, but nobody's quite clamoring to get into. Denver's a big market, but Los Angeles is second to Well, no, I don't know if it's number one, but it's a top 3 market. You've taken away a top 3 market. Television-wise, you've taken away the big brand, the one that was supposed to save the conference with the hiring of Lincoln Riley and getting relevant again. Well, doesn't matter to the Pac-12 if USC is relevant again at all.
No, yeah, LA is the number 2 market. New York's the number 1 market. Chicago's the number 3 market.
All right.
And, yeah, this completely stalls. Do you guys realize what deal was stalled already? It was the Big Ten deal.
Yeah.
Big Ten deal has been just snail's pace, kind of just nobody look over here at how slowly this is going on and how this was supposed to already be done, but we've dragged it out for whatever reasons. Oh, now we learn those reasons today. So, again, you wonder how many people knew what, when they knew it, and just the level of that all. But, yeah, the Big Ten's TV deal was already looking like it was going to be $1 billion+. Now it's going to be even more insane. And the Pac-12, I mean, what are you even negotiating with? If you're negotiating with the Pac-12, what are they offering you without USC and UCLA that they can ensure? Because you can say, well, we still got Oregon and Washington. I mean, do you though? Like, do you?
No, they have to. That's going to have to be put on hold.
Yeah.
The Big Ten's footprint. This from Scott Dockerman of theathletic.com. 5 of the 7 largest metro markets. That doesn't mean they're all college towns. Most of them pro. New York, Los Angeles, Chicago, D.C., and Philadelphia.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, there's big stuff. And Lincoln, no.
Watch yourself.
The TVs are powered on corn. No, number 1, who can the conference add? Should they go that way? And really, I think we just answered that question. Your choices are limited to UNLV and San Diego State, Fresno State, Boise,
Air Force.
You know, like that's.
But then all of a sudden, you're basically the Mountain West and Conference USA or whatever. Yeah, I mean that's the damnedest thing. That this time of year ago, not quite, but nearly 2 weeks to the anniversary of it, when we're at Big 12 Media Days, here in 2 weeks, we'll be doing the show from there. That will mark the 1 year from hearing about OU in Texas, which came right after Big 12 Media Days ended, which was very fitting. We get to see this actually at Pac-12 Media Days, right? Because this haven't happened yet. So, like, this is what would have happened if OU and Texas had announced before Big 12 Media Days last year. It'll be fascinating to see kind of what all that looks like. And I mean, I guess we need to see USC and UCLA become official either tonight or tomorrow, which is what most of the reporting is suggesting. And then after that, I guess we'll have to see some other domino drop or some indication of what they're going to try to do to salvage it, if they're going to try to salvage it. But if they do, yeah, I mean, you're pretty limited. It's San Diego State, it's Boise State, it's Air Force, it's Conference USA, it's Mountain West. I mean, that's basically what you're looking at.
And Paul,
Yep.
thank you very much. This is one from the 480. I know we're